Aloha, aloha, Martita here with Light Diamond Creative. It's an online platform for content creation, including meditation, science, art, and music. Includes in-person meditation classes and special events. So, Light Diamond Creative, everybody, is your girl Martha out here in the podcast booth today, really to wrap up season 1 podcast series, the meditation audio series. There were 16 episodes that have dropped between February 2023 and where we are at the time of this recording, or I should say when we are, which is April 12th, 2023. So 16 episodes now available on Light Diamond Creative YouTube channel. And again, this topic, the meditation audio series, this is podcast season 1 from yours truly with Light Diamond Creative. And this has been an incredible series, both creating and the feedback. Everything about it has been awesome. So if you are listening, I just want you to know that I very much appreciate you lending an ear for this experience of learning about meditation through the lens of biology and being open to the meditations that are part of the Kujian 9 chakra system from Tibetan Buddhism and that whole bag. All right, this is what it's all been about. I would love to share with you these amazing topics that we went over through the 16 episodes of the meditation audio series, season 1. We went through episode 1, the science of meditation, episode 2, the root chakra info and intro meditation, episode 3, root chakra deep dive discussion, episode 4, root chakra meditation with Sanskrit. So that's one of the episodes in this series where it is totally a meditation, no talking about why it's so awesome, just the meditation itself. It's awesome. So that's episode 4, root chakra meditation according to the 9 chakra system, Kujian. It does include Sanskrit. It's so beautiful. And then episode 5 was covering the Buddhist vows. Now, if this is your first time listening and you're not aware of all of the awesome information from this season of podcasts, the episode 5, including the Buddhist vows, it's really covering the fundamental perspectives of someone who practices Buddhism. Now, I am not an anointed Buddhist monk, and I learned these from someone who is. So that is just a really cool episode for exploring and not necessarily saying I'm even all there when it comes to what those vows are, but an exploration of getting from one point to the other after being introduced to the vows. That one is so cool. Episode 6, the 3-room meditation. So, pew, 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 pew. This is the second episode in the series where it is a pure meditation, the 3-room meditation. And actually, the 3-room meditation was the very first meditation given to me by anointed Buddhist monk Vajradarshan. Shout out to him. Big thanks to him all around, every day, all the days, all the nights. Thank you, Vajradarshan. Would not be here without you. And the 3-room meditation was the first one that he led me through, and the first one that I documented into my sacred book of Sanskrit and meditating. And the 3-room meditation is not related. Well, I guess we could say everything is related to the chakras, but this is not so much related to the chakras and the practice of the 9 chakra system, you'll just have to check that one out yourself. So that's episode 6. You can freely listen to the 3-room meditation whenever it is right for you. Episode 7, comparing perspectives and the 9 chakra system. And that one we really dive into the information, comparing and contrasting between the 7 and 9 chakra systems. That one's super interesting. That was really fun to do. Episode 8, that one is the root chakra 90 breath initiation. So when I say initiation, I mean that energetically initiating into the practice through fundamental breathing and the repetition of Sanskrit once one knows the meaning behind it and all of that. And all of that is in these episodes too. So, fully transparent. You'll be able to get all of the translations of the Sanskrit in the previous episodes. So the root chakra 90 breath episode 8 is really for people who would like to receive an upgrade energetically through the practice. And, it's really based off creating new neural networks and amping up physiological function through a breathing pattern that goes with the mantra repetition. So that is really awesome. And, these Buddhists, you'll hear me say it once and again, they know what's up. They they really know what's up, people. You got to listen into all of it to really grasp what I'm talking about here. So that is episode 8. And then episode 9 is about collective root chakra energy. So just a little bit backup of this. Reading collective energy, what does that even mean? Because if we're talking about the output of this content, what I'm attempting to convey in this 9th episode is my awareness of the flow of energy outside of myself as it relates to the root chakra and what I've learned about it. So it is a way of describing where we are at socially on average if we're framing all of this in the context of root chakra lessons. So that one's cool. And, I have read a card or two. I've professionally read some cards, okay? And it is so awesome. And it is scientific. I mean, what if we're looking at statistics, if we're starting to put the fields together, what is the likelihood that a card would come out and a spread of cards would come out and relate to exactly what someone is going on at that single point in time? What are the statistics of that? Okay, that's what I'm talking about. So that episode is super cool. And episode 12, we've got the hara and personal mission activation. So we cover the root chakra, which is one of 9 within the 9 chakra system. And then in this first season, we also get into the hara, which, if this is your first time listening, that is the energy center, energy wheel chakra within the 9 chakra system that is located around the navel. And it is a different perspective from the 7 chakra system. It is possibly perceived as the first half or lower half, bottom half of the sacral, which would be the 7 chakra perspective. So we cover the root and the hara in this season that we are wrapping up right now, right here. The hara and personal mission activation, that might sound exciting to you, especially if you are looking to align with your authentic expression and how that relates to the work that you give to the world. All right, so that is episode 12. Episode 13 is about strengthening the hara. How can we strengthen an energy center? Really exciting, because you can do that on your own. And then we've got the 14th episode, which is a hara meditation. So here we are with another meditation that you can find and just do at your own leisure. Episode 15, Hara, Chakra, and Self-Union, exploring the concept of self-union, exploring the concept of enlightenment, exploring the concept of masculine and feminine energies uniting within. And then episode 16, we've got maybe my favorite episode. It's a top tier episode right here, episode 16, the Hara chakra and the electromagnetic field. And if you know me, you know that in these recent years, I have really taken my scientific exploration down the path of the electromagnetic field and the effects of meditation on it through the practice I'm using on my own self. All right. I am a demonstration of the effects of meditation over time. Okay, so those are the episodes. And this episode is really to wrap things up and say thank you for listening. And again, if this is your first time hearing, I would recommend going back all the way to the beginning. In the beginning, she had an episode on the science of meditation. And on the 7th day, there was, I don't know, what was there? Was it light? Let there be meditation, she said on the 7th day. I gotta get some laughs in, you know what I'm saying? So this series is ending here, first of all, because 16 episodes is a lot. And second of all, because the information that has now been given on this YouTube platform covering the root chakra and the Hara is enough within the system for whoever is listening to chew on for a while. If you have listened to the initial episodes, you already know that the way this meditation practice has been given to me by Vajra Darshan is over the course of time. I was not given all the information at once. I was given the information one chakra at a time. I was given time to practice within each chakra, one chakra at a time. And I was given time to work through the practicum of the chakra lessons over the course of, it changed depending on the chakra, but like for root chakra, I worked on that for a couple months and a half before I was granted the next chakra's information to begin practicing. So over the course of 2 or 2.5 years, really, I was gifted this series of meditations within the 9 chakra system to practice on both a basic level and an advanced level. And so it really does take mastering or getting good at or understanding the information on a fundamental level before getting to the more advanced practices. It's kind of like now, if you never took chemistry, you may not relate to this, but in chemistry in high school, at a high school level, we learn practices, rules, ways of working with problems and chemistry concepts. We learn a general beginning set of rules. And then if one continues down the road of chemistry, what we find is that those rules start to get a little gray, and we find it was just a beginning model to get us going on the concepts so that we can build enough brain cells and neural pathways to even grasp the next step of learning, which is more advanced. And I would compare that, it's that way in a lot of different fields. We've got our beginning steps, and then we get further down the path and realize those beginning steps were just to get us to the point we were at, and the rules are not exactly the same further on down the road as they were in the beginning, but we needed those beginning steps. You know what I'm saying. Meditation and practicing with this system is similar. So the fundamentals matter. And the more, it's even like a sport, practicing a sport, and I relate to basketball, track, volleyball. The more we get good at those basic skills and concepts, the more we spend time in them, the better we will be down the road when we are given advanced information about how to post somebody up, how to run a play, how to shoot the ball. So I hope that if you're excited by this information, that you do take the time to go back to the beginning, and learn the basic stuff, and then even take it in your own time when you're not listening to me to experiment for yourself and, maybe even feel your own rewiring begin to occur in a positive way. So it has been really exciting to share this information, and I wish that for you that this practice benefits you even to some degree that it has benefited me, and my life has really changed in ways that I like, from going into meditation and having an objective of personal alignment. And what does that even mean? Well, maybe we'll get to that in another episode. What is alignment? You'll hear me talking about it in some of the others. So we're not quite finished yet, though. We're talking about meditating, and what are some of the benefits of it that I didn't describe in episode 1. Here we go. So meditation, in my perspective, is really a way of learning how to be at peace and to find more stillness and balance outside of meditation. Meditation is the practice, and then life is the test for meditation. And once we become practice in meditating still, then our awareness generally raises drastically. And with that raised awareness, we can begin to navigate our life's situations carrying the embodiment of a practiced meditator. And not all situations in life are easy. A lot of them are not easy, and sometimes the best road and the truer road is more difficult. So when I encounter situations, and we always are, especially as we become more engaged with the world, all these variables spinning around us, people, places, things, attitudes, perspectives, and even confrontations happening. So when I think of meditating and one of its benefits, really when I'm meditating, one of the things that I'm looking for on top of knowings and awareness growing and the skill set development of discipline alongside many others, I'm looking for a way to be so aligned in every moment of my life that I make the best decision at all points in time. Now, there, like I said, are difficult situations and decisions that need to be made. And what I feel like is the more that I meditate, the better decisions that I do make, because I've just gone through a daily energetic clearing and alignment process to bring me to a state of clarity so that I can really make the best decisions possible. And it comes to a point of, you'll hear people talk about entering into responding instead of reacting. Well, if we're looking on the biological level, a reaction of somebody, now this is like something I've seen recently, a fight that broke out that happened before my eyes when I was in a position of authority. I needed to de-escalate the situation. And what I witnessed is that the reaction space is what brought about the fight, the reaction. And the reaction space is really a physiological response too. Someone got shoved down and he didn't see it coming. And so what's happening physiologically is that this guy's nervous system at the sympathetic level, sympathetic nervous system activation into fight or flight, cueing all of these hormone, chemical, molecular reactions within the body so that the body can act in fight or flight because the body has perceived itself being in danger due to getting shoved to the ground without knowing it was about to happen in this particular instance. And so in meditation, instead of going into acting upon what the body's physiology is, what if one could go into a state of responding so that an act of violence or a fight, a physical fist fight, doesn't take place? And, some people will say, well, it's just a fist fight. And there is a lot of gray area, and all of us have perspectives, okay? I am a point of practicing no harm. So how would I engage in this situation of breaking up a fight when I am practicing no harm? Luckily, it didn't get a whole lot worse, just punches in the face for about 30 to 60 seconds before the fight was broken up. And that experience was affected by my practice within meditation, because even my body was entering a state of fight or flight. My sympathetic nervous system was activated by a perceived threat into my hormones and my blood pumping to get those hormones from A to B to Z. And so I needed to be able to enter a state of responding instead of reacting. But, people who are not practicing meditation, I would say, are less likely to be able to pull themselves into a state of responding than reacting. But that is not an official study that has been conducted. That is my hypothesis, okay? So when it comes to, and this is the last thing I'm going to ask, guys, crowd engagement. Let me know what you think. We're talking about reaction versus response. We're talking about the effect of meditating and maybe it getting us into responding as opposed to reacting. And so with all this in mind, I have had a very serious personal contemplation because I've been tested and I've been mad. This is true. And that happens occasionally. When boundaries get crossed, I'll get angry. So what will I do about that? And what do I do with my feelings as I am within different situations unfolding outside of me? How will I respond? I'm becoming aware of how I react. I can feel the energy in my body and I can feel my feelings towards a situation, or I can observe my thought pattern around a certain situation. I can see all this. How will I respond? And this is what has brought the question. What would Buddha do? Would Buddha ever get to the point where he told someone to kiss his ass? Would Buddha? Or Jesus, if you're feeling Jesus, I feel all the ascended masters. Would he ever tell someone to F off? And now, wow, I can't even comprehend. I cannot believe that someone would even postulate the question, would such an ascended being ever ask or tell somebody to kiss their ass or F off? Wow, even that idea. They really, if Jesus or Buddha ever did tell someone to F off or kiss their butt, they didn't put that in the history books. They didn't put that in the Bible. They didn't put that in there. But I wonder if it happened. And this is because, as I'm going through my own journey of being tested as a person who is compassionate and really truly aligns with no harm and all of the creativity, the problem solving that comes from that. I want to know. I want to know, what would Buddha do if he encountered a situation that is unjust? If he encountered a situation where there was judgment towards him for reasons that are pretty reasonable and justifiable, if Buddha became mad, which he surely did, he is human, and anger is a sign of boundaries being crossed. Would Buddha, let's say that Buddha, by the courts of spirit, was judged to be correct, which, here comes the question of judgment and unconditional love. Buddha would be loved no matter what he did, just like you are. Unconditional love, people. But would Buddha say to F off if someone was really pushing his buttons? If there was a situation, like after Jesus was on the cross, when he was going through his transition into spirit and rose again, at any point that he was on the cross or between his resurrection, did he think, man, these people who did this to me can kiss my ass? Okay, well, these people can F off. I don't think it's blasphemy to ask that question. I just don't. Because, what would, if someone like Buddha or Jesus are at a point of Christ consciousness, a point of enlightenment, a fully loving being, well, I think of love and how I've been expanding in my perception of love, unconditional love. Sometimes when I am in a situation, which has happened, where someone's had a problem with me, and I can understand their end of it and also still feel justified in my own actions and decisions. What would Buddha do? What would Jesus do? What would they say? Because as this person at a certain point, I would like to model my behavior after people, ascended masters who are totally loving and all that. But wouldn't they get mad? Wouldn't they get mad? Or what would they do if someone really ticked them off? I definitely can see Buddha going into some Zen garden and meditating on the situation, reflecting on the situation, activating that prefrontal lobe of reflection. I know Buddha would do that. Did he ever come to a point? I mean, and maybe this is a great question to apply to current activities of Tibet, which I don't know a lot of them, but I know that a lot of Buddhists have fled, a lot of monks have fled an area, Tibet, because of overtaking by one country or another. So, maybe if they had told the other people to F off and kiss their ass, maybe they wouldn't have been infiltrated. But, it's hard to say because it didn't happen that way. I guess what I really want to say is that I have felt so compelled to tell some people to kiss my ass. And not literally. More like kiss it as I walk away. I'm more of the person that will just remove my energy entirely. And that is how I've found a solution to many things, many situations. Maybe you would call that escapist, and I really don't care because some of the time it seems like removing one's energy entirely is the most peaceful and strong way of making a point. And maybe just leaving entirely is a better way than telling someone to F off or telling someone to kiss your ass, because maybe that would inflame the situation a little bit more. And I would not like to inflame a situation. I would like to, as a lyric says, meet meet you back in the garden where we started. Amber Mark. Yeah. So these are the musings of my recent thoughts, and I want to hear from you. What would Buddha do? What would Jesus do? Do you think either one of them, you think Mary Magdalene would ever tell someone to F off? This is a serious question. I want to know. I want to know what you think. All right. Well, that is the wrap up of season 1 meditation audio series. I hope to see you around the block. I'll be creating another season of material about the awakening journey, which I'm super excited to share. We will pause on the chakras until further notice so that you have plenty of time to study and practice what has already been given. And I'm very excited for this next season, this next podcast season to come out. That is going to be super awesome. The Awakening audio biography by yours truly at Light Diamond Creative on Instagram and on YouTube, Venmo, CashApp. If you enjoy the material, feel free to support it with monetary donation. And I'll see you all next time. Peace.